We're live. YouTube, what's going on today, man? Listen, I'm just playing. Y'all know that's that. Y'all know that's Nick Merck stuff. Welcome back into another episode of the CrocPot podcast. It's your boy Chef Zay, and I'm here with two guests. Well, actually, it's one right now, but it will be two soon. I'm here with my man Daryl, and I'm here with my man A Ron. But right now, it's Daryl. Daryl, what's up with you, baby? How you feeling?
What's up, man? What's up? What's up? How we feeling? How we doing,
I'm doing good. The only thing I'm just ducking my head because there's so many shots going around in Cleveland right now that I'm trying not to get hit with
man?
one of them.
But sincerely, bro, like, what's going on?
I don't
Mary
know,
Kay. I mean, we need to check. Like, should I call her? I'm a DM.
bro. Mary Kay. I wonder when she saw that. I'm thinking like, did she respond? Because I don't know if she responded. There's no way she didn't see it.
Oh, she did, bro. Like, they said she said something along the lines of she's about to switch her account to private.
Well, hold on.
So
Let's
she is
pull.
feeling some type of way
We
for
gotta pull
sure.
that. We gotta pull. I'm pulling it up right now because if she if she go private, there's no shot. Hold on, there's no shot, bro. Wait, did she delete the
Can you hear
tweet?
me?
Oh yeah, my fault. I muted you by a second. Did she delete the tweet?
I believe so. They said that she had posted a tweet on WKNR 850, E Goldie and the fellas on the next level. Shout out to them. They stated that she tweeted back, and she tweeted back and then she took it down, but she mentioned something along the lines of that she was gonna just make her account like private. Like she not even trying to be a public figure.
Wow. So see, this is why I wanted to save my thought process on for the podcast because, bro, there's so much noise going around right now, and it's like you don't really know
Right.
who to believe. You don't know what's true and what's not. And Baker keeps,
Right.
saying these little things here and there, and it's like, is Baker telling the truth on some of this stuff, or is it all fraudulent? Like, is it fake? Like, I really don't know whose side to be on. I don't know who's telling the truth. I don't know what's real. I don't know what's not. And I don't think the only people that do know is probably Baker and Stefanski. But other than that, I don't think nobody knows.
Right. No, nobody knows right now. It's a lot of drama. It's like, man, I thought we put this behind us though, bro. Like I sincerely thought we were on a different wave and a different tier, but apparently not.
So Baker Mayfield came out today with a tweet. Let me go to my Twitter. Actually, I have it saved on my phone real quick. Baker Mayfield today retweeted Mary Kay. Mary Kay came out and said, um, 1 second, I'm pulling it up now. Mary Kay
Okay.
tweeted 18 hours ago. This was earlier in the day. So yesterday she tweeted out a story, and the story was Baker Mayfield must resolve his differences with Kevin Stefanski soon in case they need to coexist next season. Also, some names that will be on the radar if they don't. Whereas Baker retweeted, quote retweeted today and said,
Right.
clickbait. You and many other Cleveland local media continue to be drama stirring reporters with no sources or
Drama
no facts. Don't put words in my mouth so you can put food on your table. I'm not your puppet. So Baker
puppet.
Mayfield was
Ooh.
feeling some type of way today. And it's like you listen to Baker Mayfield's press conference at the end of the game, and it's like, man, maybe he's already halfway out the door, but it's like, what is going on that he has to feel the nerve? Like, we all know Baker's sensitive, but like, I can't imagine that everything that usually he only responds to the stuff that's not true. Like, from what
Right.
I
True.
feel like it usually he only addresses stuff that obviously makes him uncomfortable, but probably isn't true. So that's what it makes me think like, what's real and what's not.
Right. So in order to listen, man, we will never really know. Like we will never really know. But what we do know for a fact is that Baker and Emily, his wife, they aren't going to hold back, bro. They're not going to just sit back and let people talk stuff. But if you notice, they only address stuff that they truly feel is not true, and they truly feel that they have to defend themselves.
Right.
Because there's a lot of stuff that's been said that they don't defend themselves on. They don't address at all. They know it's nonsense.
Or,
But the stuff that they feel
go ahead. Oh, my fault. What I was gonna say is it's like it's weird because it's like, you know, Baker Mayfield is always in the media and he's talking and he goes, well, I don't really pay attention to the noise and I don't pay attention to the media and this and that. And it's like when Mary Kay and all of these people are writing good stories about Baker Mayfield, he's never responding to any of it because he doesn't pay attention to the noise. But as soon as some noise come about that he don't like, he's all for it and he trying to get in the mix. I just don't get it. Like why retweet that and say that?
So,
You know?
so personally, I feel like, yeah, like it just goes to show you that maybe she was telling a whole lie, because that's something that he felt like, no, I'm going to shut this down. The stuff that he's most passionate
So
about
wait,
shutting
before we
down.
get into it, the reason why he felt that way is apparently the thing is there's no disconnect or or head
Right,
collision with him and Baker. So or with him and
right.
Stefanski. So do you believe that to be true?
I do believe that to be true.
You don't think there is
I
a disconnect, or you do think there's a disconnect?
I don't think there's a disconnect at all. What I do believe is that they are facing two different trials within the same realm. So what I'm trying to say is, like, you got Stefanski, who's like, I got this quarterback who I did not choose, but I see the package that he comes with. I feel like I can make an offense that's suitable to him. And then you got a quarterback that's like, yeah, see, this is not the coach that chose me, and I'm trying to run his offense, but it's not working out for me. So you got two guys who want to work for each other and with each other, but they can't seem to click. I don't think it's discord. Discord is just straight up, I don't like you, you don't like me. It is what it is. We know we have an understanding that we're not on the same page. I don't think they're there, but I do feel like they are fighting a battle on two different sides. But it's the same. It's really the same. It's really the same battle. They're both just trying to win in Cleveland, but they just can't seem to click. I wouldn't say discord though.
So what do you?
Discord is
So what do
such a
you?
heavy word.
So what do you think is the fix then? If there's not a problem, then why does Baker take shots at the offense? Why did Stefanski reply by taking shots back at basically Baker when he said that? Well, there were plenty of times that we had an opportunity to which, and he doubled down on that today on the. I just so
Yeah,
happened to tune into Cleveland Browns live on the Cleveland Browns YouTube channel, and they had Kevin Stefanski on right at the beginning, and I'm not sure if that was pre-recorded or what it was, but he doubled down on yeah, we had plenty of opportunities, but sometimes we just held the ball a little bit longer, whether that be the play wasn't good enough or whatever the case may be, but he doubled down on that. So there's clearly something there.
there's listen, bro. At the end of the day, these guys are still what I like to say human. So these guys are definitely going to react and and keep it all the way truthful when it comes to each other. We've seen that.
Well, before we get any farther, Ron, make sure you join the waiting room in the new Discord. If you don't have the new Discord, Bard, if you're in here, can you send Ron the new Discord so he can join the waiting room on that? Also, I just want to read off some of these comments on YouTube. We got Brick Boston here. What's up, baby? You welcome back. Jason, welcome back. Max, welcome back. Tom, welcome back. Miss Civic, welcome back.
That
Uh, Alan, welcome back. Elmore, welcome back. Tom, welcome back. Mustache, welcome back. Everybody in the YouTube, welcome back. TikTok, it's gonna be harder to read these what you call it. So if you guys want to get involved, drop your comments in the comments over here. Come over to YouTube, click the link in the bio, and we'll and we'll get it popping. But once Aaron gets in here, we'll get his thoughts on this whole debacle, which is gonna lead me into my next point. Do you want? I haven't got to ask you this. I know where you stand, but would you be okay if Andrew Berry said, "Okay, we're gonna give this one more go. Baker gets his surgery, fixes up his shoulder, and we're gonna run this back the same thing. All we're gonna do is add some receivers, and we're gonna cater to you." Would you be fine with that?
No, I feel like based on the position that we are in now, listen, Baker's career is not over. His tenure in Cleveland that's over. Right now, we got to make the move while we can because of the window. We don't have any more time to wait on Baker. So what we got to do is capitalize now. We got Miles for a certain amount of time. We're going to have to pay Denzel. We got our core defense. We got the young guys coming up in Joke and Phillips. So like our core defense will still be here. However, we have to make that work now. So I say you go and get you a quarterback
Who?
and Derek Carr. If you can't get a tier one in Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson, obviously you got to drop down to a tier two, which is not far off, in Derek Carr. And you make that move and you make it fast, bro, because today Baker Mayfield, his career will continue to go on. He will take another team and maybe win them 10, 9, 10 games with that chip on his shoulder. And that's fine for him. He was injured all year. I respect Baker for playing through it. But at the same time, we have a window we're working with, and we don't have time to wait on Baker.
So the window that you're talking about, they're starting to get a little bit of rumble. There's a little bit of noise starting to shake up with this person that I'm about to mention to you. Now, it's not Matt Ryan, because I know what you're thinking. Everybody, you know, everybody always bite my head off for saying Matt Ryan. But hey, appreciate the cap. There is a new name. It's not really a new name. It's floated around, but it never really had any traction. But now it's starting to get a little traction. Kirk Cousins. Yes or no?
Oh man. So I wanna say yes, bro, but
It's a top 10 quarterback, according to Player Football Focus.
how much better are we getting? Are we getting? I mean, that's true.
The last time Kirk Cousins had a winning season and went to the playoffs, it was under Stefanski in his offense. He's been average. He's been average and hovering around average, a little bit above average ever since. But his best season was with Kevin Stefanski. I'm seeing Jameis Winston in the chat. No. People are high on Jameis Winston right now.
Yep. I mean, listen, Jameis Winston was having a terrific year. We're not going to do that. I mean, he had the Saints at 5-2, and then he suffered the injury, and they were terrible after that.
I honestly can't believe
it's not like
There's no way though. Like you would get rid of Baker to go Jameis Winston?
No.
Let me think. I mean,
I'm giving away.
Well, yeah, you would be trading. There's AA.
You'll be trading 10 interceptions for 11 interceptions.
Well, no, you would be trading. Where was I going with that? Oh no, you would be trading Saints. So Baker would be gone. I would imagine that Baker would be a part of that deal somehow, some way, unless Jameis is a free agent that I don't know about. I mean, he probably is a free agent, but didn't he sign he signed some sort of a contract, right?
I'm under the impression that I thought he was going to be somewhat of a free agent, but I don't think the Saints were going to let him go, especially with their situation. Jesus. I mean, what are we doing?
Well, let's bring in AA Ron. AA Ron, what you think? Welcome on into the CrocPot podcast, man. How you feeling today, bro?
Yo, what up, guys? How you doing today?
What up, AA Ron?
We're just sitting here trying to figure out, would you rather have Kirk Cousins? Would you rather have Jameis Winston, who you liked yesterday or 2 days ago when we talked about this, or would you keep Baker? If you had those three options, we're not talking Derek Carr, we're not talking Deshaun Watson. Let's just say they're all gone, and you were down to three choices. You got Jameis Winston, Kirk Cousins, or Baker Mayfield. And you can throw Matt Ryan in there because he's an actual possibility. You got those four quarterbacks. Which way are you going for 2022? In this offense with Stefanski at the helm calling the plays, assuming he's going to keep the play calling role, because I don't think he's going to give it up.
So here's what I would say. So I heard you guys talking, and Jameis at this point is a free agent as far as anybody knows. But it's highly unlikely that Sean Payton actually lets him go based on how he was playing before he tore his ACL. So, I mean, I doubt he's actually going to be available, but for argument's sake, we could say he is. If you were going to give me those four, let's say Matt Ryan, Baker Mayfield, Kirk Cousins, and Jameis, the way personally I would rank them, I would probably say I'm gonna sound crazy, and people in your YouTube are gonna
You're
go
gonna
crazy.
say
But
Winston
me
won, aren't
personally,
you?
I'm probably saying it's close between Jameis and Kirk. I think Jameis is a lot better than people think. People think of the knucklehead from Tampa Bay, but he's grown up a lot.
Would he
And
thrive in this offense? So that's the only thing that I like. I know Jameis can throw the ball. We've seen him put up 4,000 yards consecutively. Like it's easy for him.
right,
But
right,
could that
he
work
could
here?
throw. I think he's a better fit schematically for this system than Baker probably would be. Just being honest with you, the way Stefanski probably wants to run the offense, if he has somebody with a bigger arm, I could definitely see him being a better fit than Baker. And I think Kirk honestly has a bigger arm than people think too, maybe slightly bigger than Baker's arm, obviously. But I just think that's the way Stefanski wants to play ball. But I think the part that we're all forgetting is that like the Browns organization over the past couple of years since, I'm sorry, your GM's name is
Andrew Berry.
Andrew Barry.
Drew Barry.
Since he's kind of taken over, I feel like they're a very analytical team.
Yep.
And I think you also have to think of it from a money perspective. Like you trade for Kirk Cousins, you're taking on $35 million fully guaranteed.
So
You know what I mean?
You know what I was thinking in that you make a good point with the contract and the analytics because people don't realize how much analytics is going to play a decision factor in this decision. Like it's going to be one of the heavy weights that determine which direction they're going to go. And quite frankly, depending on where this pick lands, like we don't know what they're thinking up in the offense. If you lose this game, you have anywhere from the 7th to the 10th pick. If you win this game, that 10th pick goes from 12 to 15 to 17. Like it drops dramatically, right? So if you could go get a Jameis Winston for another $5 million, do you see them going quarterback early first round just for insurance? Because if you bring in Jameis Winston, Baker's gone, in my opinion, which would give them a little bit of flexibility to go get a quarterback, not being the best quarterback draft where they have their pick is, it would set up perfectly for them to maybe take a shot at a quarterback. So would that be a possibility? Could you see them doing that? Or is that not analytically smart for them?
I'll let Daryl go first.
Oh boy. So no. don't touch the quarterback, man. Leave it alone. Like don't do that. Don't do that. Because if you miss, all hell's gonna break loose. Like you're better off
Not
reaching
necessarily
in
though,
the
right?
listen, you can't go from Baker, right? Who knows the system, regardless of how he succeeded in the system. And speaking on that, part B to that, speaking on the analytics say that it wasn't necessarily Baker not succeeding in the system, but the system itself failing. Like, bro, when they ran play action, according to analytics, as they put it, you have a lower success rate running play action in our situation than we had last year. When no one knew our scheme and no one knew our playbook, etc. It was okay to run that play action, but running it now and running it in this past season, it showed that we would have failed on about 62% of the play action calls, strictly off the fact that defenses knew to watch the edges and stay deep, right? So when you speak on that, this is the issue with Stefanski. Because of his analytical bias, he couldn't figure out how to adjust to what the defenses had already adjusted to.
See, but here's
So
the
it wasn't
thing with
necessarily
that.
that Baker.
Well, let me just piggyback on that, and then we'll get Aaron's opinion on that real quick. Well, that it's just like I feel you on that. Maybe where you saying that it's probably the offense's approach, but at the same time, there's plenty of footage out there. There's plenty of eye tests where me, you, and the whole world and saw the same play action that you're talking about may not be working. There's an open guy. For instance, the play where David Njoku is wide open across the middle of his face, but he decides to go to DPJ, who's draped like a, you know what I'm saying, with a defender right on him. So like that's poor execution on Baker's fault. That's not poor execution on the play calling part because the man was open. So there's plenty of footage out there that Baker Mayfield misses a lot of throws.
Facts, but remember that Baker is an outside quarterback, meaning that he throws and sees the field better on the outside because he's a smaller guy. He can't see over the line. And so, what defenses were doing was keeping Baker in the pocket. They were taking away the rollout. Like I was saying in the beginning of the season, like, why isn't Chubb getting those same outside, those bounce outside type of runs off of the, off of the guards and the tackles? And it was simply because defenses figured it out. So when you think about that, you don't want to go get a quarterback out of this draft and try to teach him a system that you don't even know is going to work for yourself. You got to get you a veteran guy who will come in, even if he has to learn the system, he can build the system with you versus just learning the system that's not guaranteed to work.
Well, it sounds to me like you want Kirk.
Stefanski came in with this. I'm sorry.
It sounds to me like you want Kirk. Then you just described Kirk Cousins.
No, I want Carr. Kurt's not going to cut it. You can swing it at AA Ron now.
I mean, I'll circle back to the original question of are you drafting a quarterback? I'm gonna take it from the approach of again, I don't want to keep using the word because it's repetitive, but the analytics. This is not a good quarterback draft. Like, not to say it's not. Like, there could be one or two, solid quarterbacks in here. And apparently, from what some people are saying, there's like 3 or 4 that are going to go in the first round. Apparently, possibly. But it's not there's not that Trevor Lawrence or that that guy at the top of this draft, right? Mm-hmm. So, to me, if I'm thinking from the Browns' perspective of it, you're either shooting for the moon, which to me is like Rodgers, Wilson, or as Daryl said, I would even say Derek Carr, obviously. You're either shooting there, or based on the money that you're going to have to give Kirk or Jameis, you're probably bringing back Baker for the $18 million. You're going to get him on the 50-year option.
You're not bringing back Baker with that.
And then, wait, hear me out. And then next year, if you have the same scenario where you are drafting again in the top 15, you're coming into that draft where you have, again, my college, the knowledge I have of college football players is a little limited, but I know that Bryce Young from Alabama and CJ Stroud from Ohio State are supposed to come out. Mm-hmm. So you would run it back a year with Baker for one of those 2 quote unquote stud quarterbacks over just drafting one this year for the sake of drafting one to get rid of Baker. But that's just where it is.
But see, the thing is, though, they're not gonna bring in Jameis Winston and keep Baker. They're either gonna ride or see. This is the thing, though. They were talking about this on the radio as well. With our team being so analytic based, they made it a point at the beginning of throughout the whole season. Andrew Berry gave out contracts, right? Like he was Oprah. Wyatt, you get a contract. Joel, you get a contract. Miles, you get a contract. Chubb, you get they locked up all of the pieces, right? And I think that they're not gonna teeter with an idea. They're either gonna throw the money at a quarterback, right? Or they're gonna throw the money at a new quarterback, or they're gonna throw some money at Baker, right? Like, I mean, like, I just don't understand like how you can, and especially with Baker coming out saying everything that he's saying, and the aura that's coming around with him, he's not gonna stand for bringing in a Jameis Winston or somebody to compete with. He's not gonna. There's no reason for him to compete. He will ask for a trade. It's already being documented that he will request a trade if he doesn't like where the direction is going.
No, you wouldn't bring in another quarterback with Baker. If you're bringing back Baker, you're running it back one more year. If I didn't make that clear, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
If you bring back Baker on the 18.1, and by the way, also I get where you're saying that they're either going to give Baker the money or they're not. I mean, not for nothing, you gave him that 50-year option, so you say you make him play this contract out, and then if you don't think that's enough motivation for Baker to go out there and say, oh, you guys are not going to extend me, so I'll either go out there and ball out, you'll have to pay me more next year, or somebody else will give me the money. If you don't think that that's in Baker's mind, then you're crazy. He'll go out there and play because he's going to want to prove that he's a better quarterback than he looked like this year. That's just what it comes down to.
So a lot of the chat right now are throwing this name out there, and I want your initial headline reaction, whatever you want to call it, just a quick short one to this name that's being thrown out here, because quite frankly, if they do this, man, this is such a Cleveland move, and I will throw up in my mouth consecutively. Gardner Minshew.
No,
No.
no. I like Gardner. But I think Gardner is very similar to Baker. Like
Right.
level wise, like as far, like, I mean, honestly, I think Baker when healthy is better than Gardner, but that's not realistic. No way.
I mean, okay, so we're playing the hypothetical game now. Say you get Gardner Minshew pennies on the dollars, right? Pennies on the
Mhm.
No.
dollars. That means you doesn't that takes out the scenario for you, Daryl, where you don't want to bring in a rookie to come in the system. You got a veteran, right? You got a guy who's not really gonna. This could be the scenario maybe where you bring in him to be the quote unquote backup, but in the back of your mind, it's a play because you don't really know where Baker is. Like you said, you want to ride the 5th-year option. Okay, we're gonna bring in a new backup quarterback. We'll get him cheaper than $7 million, right? You veteran in the league, still has a little bit of raw potential sitting up in him. So if they were able to get him on pennies of the dollar and he becomes the quote unquote new Case Keenum backup for cheaper money, is that something that would would that be a play?
No.
No, okay.
No,
I'm with you.
Gardner Minshew's the guy that you bring in if next year goes the same way this year goes, and Baker's out the door, and you're drafting a quarterback in 2023. Gardner Minshew's the guy that you bring in until the rookie's ready. That's that guy.
Young
Yeah,
Charles
that is
says,
that guy.
if the Browns get Minshew, then I'm never watching a Browns game again. And I've been a fan my whole
Sincerely.
life.
I
Sincerely.
mean, facts.
That would be man. That's what I'm saying. That would be so up the Browns alley. Like, I don't know. What's even funnier? Okay, so to get back on track with this, Baker sending shots at Mary Kay in this. Guess who retweeted this? You're never gonna guess. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but someone retweeted this and basically stood by Baker. Could you take a random guess? It's a former Cleveland Brown. That's the only hint I'm giving you. No
I mean,
guesses?
it ain't Odell.
Right, you know. What,
Uh,
Joe? Would it be Joe? I don't know.
Brandon Weeden came out,
Brandon Weeden.
quote retweeted, and said, same stuff, different year with her. She can't help herself. Now, why? This is what I'm saying. It's like Baker Mayfield has always been the guy that he does keep his mouth shut. But when he feels like something is false and wrong and he's being attacked, and it just always seems, he's not just going to defend it. So it's like, there's got to be some traction here. Right?
No. So, yeah, it's traction, but it's not negative traction. If anything, we kind of should be happy if all signs are pointing that we're going to keep Baker. And what I mean is, look at it this way. He's consistent in addressing things that are seemingly a lie, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't speak out about the nonsense or speak towards the nonsense, but stuff that is like completely asinine, he's going to speak out against. And because he's consistent in that, I have to respect him as a man, because if that report was false, which, I mean, if you want my honest opinion, I believe it's false, because we all know how Mary Kay is. I mean, come on now.
And before that, there's another person. TikTok just said there's another person. Could you guess who retweeted this one? Deshaun Kaiser. Deshaun Kaiser. Quote retweeted Brandon Weeden's tweet and said, preach.
Yeah, so that goes to show you that there's some validity that it's a lie.
So Baker Mayfield retweets it, calls her out. Then you got Brandon Weeden putting in his 2 cents, another quarterback. Then you've got Deshaun Kaiser. And on top of that, she deleted the tweet. So why?
I mean,
what is this drama? Why the drama not, like, what is the end game here? Like, I'm trying to figure it out, because it's like, I don't know if Baker wants out. I don't know if he wants to stay. I don't know if he just wants a little bit of tweakage. Like, there's so many directions that I'm being pulled. Like, what direction do you feel like you're being pulled in, quite frankly? Because I don't know.
Well, I think the thing you have to realize, and again, I'm not overly familiar with Browns reporters, but it sounds like this person has a history of doing things like this and like ticking off the players, essentially. So you also have to understand, though, take it from somebody who lives in the quote unquote media capital of the world. This time of year, when you had a team coming off a playoff run last year, the media is going to look to, drive out what they, hyperbole, basically just to throw it out there so that if something does happen with Baker, that reporter can turn around and say, hey, look, I was right. We traded Baker because he didn't want to be here anymore. See what I mean? It wasn't, whereas it might not be that. It might just be right now there's a divide between the coach and the player, and whatever's going to happen is going to either, come to a head or it's not. So, I mean, that's part of just being in the media. You drive these things up just so this way that you can, turn back around and say, hey, look, listen, I was right. I don't think Baker wants that. I think at the end of the day, Baker wants what's best for Baker. And I think he kind of made that clear in that he wants the offense to be catered more towards his style, which
So
is,
how do you do that?
as we talked about yesterday, he's an accurate quarterback, but you can't have him throwing 40 times a game. And I think, you want to know the truth? I was thinking about this today, too, when you messaged me that we were going to do another podcast today. I think the loss of Kareem Hunt for so much of this season hurt Baker so much more than people realize, because that's the guy, not to say Chubb can't do it, but Chubb is your between the tackles. That's the guy that's bruising people. You know what I mean? He can catch the ball, but Kareem Hunt is that guy that you give those short dump offs to, and he could take those 10, 15, like make a big play out of it. So I think that injury hurt Baker's play way more than people realize, that weapon. You think about it. I mean, I know OBJ and him weren't vibing, but you get rid of that weapon and then you lose the weapon of Kareem Hunt. I think that has more of an effect than a lot of people think.
So
That's
do
all I'm
you
saying.
so who exactly is to blame for Baker or Odell not succeeding then? If you have that opinion on it, and from what it sounds like, if Baker, like, did Stefanski want Odell gone, or did Baker want Odell gone? Because I think back at the press conference, because when Baker talked about it, he's like, he actually truly, it seemed genuine when he said, man, this caught me off guard. Like, I love Odell. We're friends. We haven't talked, but it doesn't change anything. Like, it seemed genuine that, he was sincere and like, dang, this came out of nowhere. So it's like, but then you got his dad throwing the video out there. So it's like, who really was Baker and Odell the problem, or was it somebody else?
Stefanski and his system. And you gotta remember, like, we've seen this play out before. Star quarterbacks don't succeed in his offense. It will never happen. So you got a struggling quarterback who's struggling to see over his offensive tackle. No disrespect to Bake. And so he wants to roll out, but his coach knows that rolling out is not an option right now. So then you swing to the wide receiver. You got a diva wide receiver who's like, bro, I need the ball. And he can't get the ball if the quarterback can't see him, right? And
Right.
so, or if he doesn't have the arm strength to get him the ball.
But he does have the
So
arm
now
strength. We know that, though.
right. Well, yeah, he has a cannon, but isn't an accurate cannon.
Man,
Is the
come on.
question.
What was do you remember Baker Mayfield's very first throw in the NFL? Do you remember? Because I remember like it was literally I remember that Jets drive as if it was just like 2 seconds ago. He stepped into this game down 14 and delivered a dart to Jarvis Landry between 3 defenders, bro. Like the tightest window you could ever see. He delivered it, and he did it 3 times on that drive. 3 times.
Zay, we both know
he can make make throws.
That ball was he can make them if the receiver is going to be awesome. Look, here's the thing: Baker has that accuracy, right? I respect him. He has the cannon, but he's better out of the pocket, right? That's where we really see that cannon excel. And when you have a coach who's like, no, I need you to stay in the pocket because this is the way that our offense is ran, this is the way the scheme is set up, that's your issue. You got a coach who can't figure out how to use
and that's the
a
key.
quarterback.
No, not even just a quarterback. See, this is why I love talking about this, because it makes me think about different things. There's so many things that you can point back to, different directions for Baker, for Kevin's, for this. But we're gonna pinpoint Kevin, like you said. You're pointing it towards the offense. I'm gonna go as far as this. Remember when Kevin Stefanski was running the offense in Minnesota.
Mhm.
What happened there? Do you remember the big story as why Kevin Stefanski's pretty much gone? Well, not pretty much gone, but why he's probably not there. Do you remember the stories and what was going on that team and the offense? Do you remember?
I don't off the top of my head.
Adam Thielen
Yeah,
and
no.
Stephon Diggs were both unhappy. So maybe it's not so much Kirk Cousins or Baker Mayfield, or maybe it's Kevin Stefanski and the offense. He can't have superstar receivers. He can't have a superstar. And I thought that was Baker, but maybe that's Stefanski.
Well, facts. Go ahead, Aaron. Go ahead.
I think if you're gonna, this is just. I think that the Odell relationship really fell apart, and I'm not gonna sit here and blame Baker. I'll put some blame on Stefanski. But I'm also gonna say that I think where Baker thrives, as Darryl was saying, he thrives in those roll outside the pocket, but also quick throws and also throws, things like that. And I think if you look at Odell, the way he's traditionally played from his days on the Giants and the way he's also playing with the Rams now, he's an outside receiver that wants to go for the big play. Mm-hmm. And I just felt like Cleveland's offense was catered towards, you're going to run the ball and you're going to have
we didn't
quick
run, though.
Play. But it what?
But we didn't run, though. See, that's the thing. Like, we want to run the ball, but he literally threw 40 passes the last 2 weeks of the game,
Wait, let me finish my thought, though. When Odell was coming back off multiple injuries, the ankle, all that with you guys, right? And he tore his ACL, I'm pretty sure as well, right?
Yeah.
But when Odell came back off the injuries, you're now telling a guy that the way that you more so want to use him is on in routes where he's going to get leveled more often, which is where he got hurt in that preseason game, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe it was early on in the season,
it was
2 years ago, whatever it was.
The Bengals, I think.
Right, but you're now asking him to do things where he wants to be is on the outside, beating people one-on-one, and you're asking him to do things that he doesn't want to do. It was a doomed relationship from that point on, because Odell's thinking about it of the fact of my ankle, my ACL, and you're going to tell me to go across the middle and get my head taken off by a safety. I don't want to do it. You saw in his later days with the Browns, he was half-ass running those interior routes.
Yeah,
he wanted no part of going in the middle of the field and getting leveled. So once he saw that and there was an opportunity out, I don't think he could have ended up in a better situation, because Cooper Kupp's the guy over there that does that inside stuff, and he's one of the best in the league at it. So now he's free on the outside to just dilly-dally and do whatever he wants to do. There's a different scenario here where he's the number one. He's not the number one anymore. And that's just not where he is in his career anymore. That's just sad truth.
So what the heck was I about to ask? Someone says, where to go? Herman said, our receiving unit ain't that good, to be fair. So the question is going to be, I guess, do we have a number one on this roster? Is there a number one on the Cleveland Browns roster?
Yes, Donovan. Donovan could be a number one, I think.
Donovan, you mean DPJ?
I see the size and the speed, and I see the hands, big playability. I could see Donovan next year shining in that role.
Hey, I'll be honest with you. Years ago, when I saw what draft class was DPJ?
He was 2 years ago. 2 years ago, yeah.
2 years ago, when he was coming out, I was begging where he fell in the draft. I wanted, obviously, I don't know if Darryl knows, but I'm a Jets fan. I was begging for the Jets to pick him up at that point because I saw his college tape and the way he played and how tough he was. I don't know if he's a number one, but I think, this is me personally, I think he's a really good two. That's just where I'm at. I think he's a really good 2-1 team. But, so I'm going to sit here and say right now, if I look at your roster, I don't see a number. Because to me, you're talking about a number one is like, I don't know, Stephon Diggs, like that type of guy, DeAndre Hopkins. You guys don't have that guy. But DPJ fits your system well. So could he be the number one? Sure. I don't think he's really a true number one, but he could be in your system, but I don't think he really is. That's just where I am.
So I guess it's like, obviously, even if you draft one of these rookies, right? Like, we can't assume that every high caliber prospect receiver is going to be the next Jamar Chase Justin Jefferson. Are these guys
CD.
that they talking about, Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, are these guys Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, or are they like T. Higgins, Michael Gallup, like are they that the the tier right below them? Because if honestly they're not, I mean, I guess we didn't know Jamar Chase was gonna be that guy anyway. I just don't want to go into the draft and everyone and their mother wants a receiver, and it just seems too obvious to just be like, yeah, I'm gonna go grab Chris Olave. He's gonna be our number one. It's gonna work. It's gonna be magic. It's gonna be magical. Like, I don't see that working, especially with how things are going now. So, like, would you, if you brought in a Chris Olave or Wilson, are you gonna make them your number one receiver, or are you still gonna go out and get a guy like Allen Robertson, Chris Godwin, or whoever's out there in the free agency to make your number one?
I think it's tough with rookie receivers. I think Jamar Chase is kind of lightning in a bottle. You know what I mean? Like, he had that rapport with Burrow going back to college. So, I'm not saying all rookie receivers are obviously that bad, but you can see even the guys who people consider number ones. Like, I'm just thinking back the past couple of years, like Jerry Judy. He's had his struggles in Denver. You know what I mean? And that guy was like, he was like people were like, oh, this is going to be the guy. Like, he's a Bama receiver. I think the kid from Ohio State, and I'd have to watch tape and stuff like that, but the kid from Ohio State,
Garrett Wilson.
Wilson, I think he has potential to be a one. But I want to ask you guys about a rumor that I heard today, because it came up because I was looking out for my team, and I don't know if the Browns can make it happen based on their financial situation. But I heard today that Calvin Ridley wants out in Atlanta.
Ooh.
Now that's a number one right there. If you're and
That's
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't
so
know what
so
I don't know what
he's under
financial
contract?
situation the Browns would be in to make that contract happen. But if that's true, I already said I want the Jets to give up a one if Calvin Ridley's available and he wants to play football, because the whole he took mental time off last year. But now people are saying he wants to come back and he wants to get traded.
So his current contract is 4 years, $10 million, 8.5 guaranteed. Let's see. So for next year, he would be due. It's a 2.5 million cap hit. It's or no, that was nope. I'm looking at the wrong year. Okay, so next year, 2022, he's guaranteed 11 million with the cap hit of 11 million
for a number one. You know what I'm saying? A number one.
Okay, so
Ridley,
you definitely
if you guys had Ridley and DPJ and you figure out something to do in the slot, that's a receiving core.
Hey, so
you know
that's Anthony Schwartz.
It's funny you say Anthony Calvin Ridley now. So if you talking Calvin Ridley, do you go for the gusto and just be like, yo,
Derek
Atlanta?
Carr.
No, I'm saying you, because look, I would be fine with Derek Carr, but the way I'm looking at it is like this. It's like, look, if we're already in works with Atlanta, right? We gonna get Matt Ryan on the cheap, period. So would you go for the package?
Oh my goodness,
Xavier. I'm telling you, bro, Matt. You think everybody hates Matt Ryan? I get it, bro. Trust me, because I'm in that camp too. But if you give Matt Ryan this team, this offense, this defense, I mean, it's fucking. I mean, I'm sorry for it's foolproof. It's literally like it has to be full. And then if you get Calvin Ridley, he already knows Calvin Ridley. You got DPJ, you got the running game. I mean, like, it's almost like a match made in heaven, is it not?
I think the thing you have to keep in mind is that Calvin Ridley stopped playing after, I think it was 3 or 4 weeks this season, because he said he needed a mental health break. And again, everything with a grain of salt, because like I said before, media-driven hyperbole this time of year. But you have to realize, does any of that have to do with the fact that he has played with Matt Ryan for the past couple of years? Does any of that have to do with the organization of Atlanta? Does it have to do with the new coach they hired? So I think that you would take those things into consideration before making that move. Like, to me, Calvin Ridley, if he is all in, he's a no-brainer move for any organization if you could give up a first-round pick for him and get him, because he's a bona fide one. But I think you also have to check on A, where he is mentally, and B, what things frustrated him in Atlanta to the point that he just didn't want to play anymore. you know?
That was Matt Ryan. So
Dude.
why am I
Right.
about to
It's
why am I about to reach and grab the guy that pissed Ridley off? I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it.
Right.
so now
Right.
you know what's funny is like something tells me like all the hate that Matt Ryan get. Why does it feel like now he's gonna be the one that we end up getting? And I can just see it now. I can see it now. He come in and throw an interception, and the dog pound, the whole stadium at first energy is just gonna be booing him. Like, and it's like it's just one intercept. Like I could totally see that scenario playing out where nobody, like literally every time I say the name Matt Ryan, I get pitchforks and barbed wire thrown at me because it's no Matt Ryan's too old, garbage, 28-3, not worth it. I don't want him, and it's just like, well, we are the Browns. I could totally see, oh, Derek Carr didn't want to come, he stayed. Nope, Aaron Rodgers not passing my no wave clause to go to Cleveland. Deshaun Watson, well, he still got 20 cases he's got to settle. Here's Matt Ryan, Cleveland. Do you want him? And then we end up taking him, and then it's just like, are we back to Browns as the Browns, which I feel like we're trending towards that direction. I don't think we're trending towards that direction. I'm just talking. It was just a really bad season, but you get what I'm saying.
I think the reason why I brought it up to you is because I said Calvin Ridley because I picture, and again, this is me. I told you already. If Calvin Ridley's available, my team has 10 picks in the upcoming draft. I'm trading one or two of those picks to get Ridley if I can, because that's a franchise-changing move. But the reason why I bring that up is because you said Allen Robinson, and to me, I think someone like Calvin Ridley, who is an elite route runner, is a better fit on your team with, I don't know what you guys are doing at quarterback, but hypothetically, if it is Baker, and that's what I'm saying it's going to be based on the $18.1 million cap hit and what you guys are going to end up doing, then to me, Calvin Ridley is the guy that you want on the outside with DPJ because he fits your offense way better than somebody like Allen Robinson, who's only looking to go over the top. That's where that's his bread and butter. Calvin Ridley is a tough route runner, goes over the middle. With Baker's arm, it would be a match made in heaven. That's where I'm coming from. But
I like that. I mean, yeah, we should get somebody who can run some routes, honestly.
Right.
Because
Matty Ice is overpriced, bro.
He is. Matt Ryan's
I don't think
not,
he's gonna
at
be overpriced next
that's
year,
not
though.
the guy.
Like next year, I don't think he will be. Like that's what I'm saying. It's like if you're would you rather give Baker Mayfield 15 million, or would you rather give Matty Ice 15 mil? I think that would be the question that you have to ask. Matty Ice is not getting another big contract, period, for the reasons that you just stated. Number one, he's probably on the decline, right? Number two, he's 37 years old. And if he leaves Atlanta, everybody that already probably has the same, thought process that we do, that, okay, it's Matty Ice. So he's not getting big money anywhere he goes. He's going to get, average money, if that. So that's what I'm saying.
Matt Ryan's contract next year is almost $24 million.
Well, how many more years is
There's
it?
no way.
He's got 2 years left. He's signed till 20. Got 2 years.
Baker, at least he knows the system.
So what you could do is
the first year is $24 million, and the second year is $28 million. You're going to give Matt Ryan that in his age 38 season?
I think it would probably knowing how Andrew Berry is and how the analytics would go. I think there would probably be some sort of reconstructed. Like it would be more so, okay, we're going to give you guaranteed money where they would make it work. I don't think they would go ahead and like we're dealing with Ivy League guys. They're not just gonna do dumb things just because it may work. Like they're gonna think about this that way. And I think if they do something of that, they're gonna make it fit the analytic way. So if you bring in Matt Ryan, yeah, he may be making all that money, but let's just say we reconstruct the contract, and instead of it being a cap hit, we just go ahead and give you guaranteed money up front. So would you be fine? Like we got the money to spend. Would you be fine if giving him guaranteed money to where it doesn't affect the cap? Because I think that's something that you could do with a guy like Matt Ryan, especially with the contract, if he wants to win a Super Bowl.
I mean, I'm still thinking the way I'm thinking before. If you guys are making a trade, it's Watson, with legal bullshit aside, or it's Rodgers, or it's Russell Wilson, or it's Derek Carr. And if you can't get any of those four, then
just ride it with
deal
Baker.
with Baker for another year. That's what I think.
And I'm honestly fine with riding with Baker.
If I'm your team, that's my mentality, because I can get Baker for way less money than I'm getting a Matt Ryan, a Kirk Cousins, and I can go into the draft next year and get the guy that I really want. And obviously at that point you're kind of starting over, but
See, but here's what scares me though with the bring Baker back, and it's like, okay, let's just say some of these rumors are true because there's got to be something on Baker's end that obviously is true, right? And there's got to be stuff from the media that obviously is true. Like somewhere in between, there's truth. And my problem with if we decide to bring Baker Mayfield back next year is how committed is he going to be? Is the contract still like, because he's already wants to get the contract situated. It's like he wants to be committed. He wants to know that you're all in on him. He doesn't want to go through this year to year bull crap. And because if that's the case, he'll just ask for a trade. And I'm afraid that it's like, okay, he comes out. Let's say he gets healthy. He comes out and he looks exactly like he does, or even just a little bit better. It's a little bit better is not good enough. I'm sorry. Even if he's just a little bit better than last year, we're stuck in the same scenario that we're in now, and we wasted another year. And we wasted another year of Myles Garrett. He's probably going to want to get out. We wasted another year of Nick Chubb and Denzel Ward and this core. And the people eventually you're going to start losing the locker room, which I already feel like they're doing now. That's when that Odell thing went down, it already divided up the locker room now. And if you start making decisions that are already up in the air with some players, how does that sit with you for next year? What type of culture, what type of, what is it going to feel like in the locker room next year if you bring in a guy like Baker and there's already that division in the locker room?
So I get exactly what you're saying, but one thing you got to do is try, especially with that minimal, window that we have. Like when you're looking at the numbers, bro, like I understand you want a guy like Matty Ice, right? But listen, Matty Ice threw 2 more touchdowns and 5 less interceptions than Baker, and he's 37 years old versus Baker who was injured. They had almost the same stats, and teams had the same results, which is no playoffs, and he's older than Baker, and Baker was injured. So you have to at least take your chances with Derek Carr, Wilson, Rodgers, and if that doesn't work, you gotta ride with Baker, and you tell the team, look, guys, we we're working with no time at all. It has to happen now. Baker, fresh off of surgery, he's back healthy. Let's see if we can get that 26 and 12 or whatever it was, 26 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. Let's see if we can get that Baker. And if we can get that Baker, let's see how far we get. It's a crapshoot, but what options do we have?
I think
We're
there's
not reaching for a quarterback in the draft.
I think we're gonna be witnessing a power. Like I'm anxious to see if this is a power struggle, because that's what it feels like. Like when there's a power struggle, you really can't pinpoint what the problem is. We keep going back and forth on, is it Baker, is it Andrew Berry, or if it's Kevin. What if Jimmy Haslam loves Baker? If Jimmy Haslam loves Baker,
I see that.
So this is the thing. If Kevin Stefanski's not calling plays, the power struggle was over for Kevin. He's out the door. He's already 1 foot out the door. So like I'm just wondering.
So are you keeping Baker or are you keeping Stefanski?
I'm keeping, if I had to choose one or the other for the power struggle, because I feel like there's a power struggle somewhere in this. Who's gonna win it? I mean, I think I'm gonna go Kevin. Like, you got to keep Kevin, coach of the year. We know he can set up a good offense, but it's just like, I want to know, and this is the $1 million question: who loves Baker behind closed doors? Because there's somebody back there that's holding on to Baker like it's their last. And I quite frankly, I don't think it's Kevin Stefanski. It can't be. And I don't know if it's Andrew Berry, and which leads me to, is it Jimmy and D? Like, are they the ones that truly love him? Is it Paul Podesta? Like, who is it? Because there's a reason why he's still around. There's a reason why they got rid of, it seems like they catered to him all the way up until the last few games where he got, absolutely destroyed every game. But, like, who's holding on to the Baker thread? That's the real question. I feel like maybe not. Maybe that's not a question. Maybe I'm just, picking stuff out of thin air. But I just feel like somebody has to have a serious infatuation with Baker. Because guess what? We do know that Jimmy Haslam was the one that sent down the text and said, all right, go get Johnny Manziel. Am I wrong about that?
Is it an infatuation, or is it a decision that you just are forced to make based on the selection that you have? Like if Rodgers is not going to look in Cleveland and say, "Yeah, come on, Cleveland, I could take you there." He's not going to do that, right?
Why can't he? Why? Wait. Why not? Why not? See, that's the thing that I don't get.
Bro,
Our
as
team
good
is
as our team is,
literally you
we're
plug
not
in a
sexy.
quarterback. If you plug in Aaron Rodgers, we're AFC Championship. We're in the AFC Championship. You cannot
Listen,
tell me
we're not sexy enough.
We're not sexy enough.
We're not sexy.
Green Bay ain't
We're not
sexy
sexy.
enough. It's Wisconsin. What are you talking about? That's the most least sexiest state in the world.
What did Tom Brady do? He went clear down south.
Tom Brady is an anomaly. He's 47 and is acting like he's 22.
Yeah, because he's in that warm weather, bro. You got the beautiful women in Tampa. What do we have? Aaron's not leaving a winter wonderland and coming to another winter wonderland. It's not happening,
bro.
He wants to go.
Can you? Okay, so let me pause you there. Let me pause you there because this was another thing brought up on 92 today. We all know Aaron Rodgers has an ego. We all know this, right? This is
right.
We know he wants to be the best. We know he cares about records. We know he pays attention to stuff like that. Imagine this. You mean to tell me, with all of the there's already rumbles about, okay, Aaron Rodgers is probably the most gifted quarterback we've ever seen, but we all know Tom Brady's the GOAT, right? What if Aaron Rodgers wins the Super Bowl in Green Bay and it's like, you know what? I'm about to really challenge Tom Brady's legacy. If he comes to Cleveland and wins the Super Bowl, are you kidding me? You think he's not going to be in that conversation, which he already is? Like, if you win a Super Bowl in Cleveland, bro, they're going to build a statue. You're going to never have to buy a drink, a hotel. You are going to be our savior. He might be bigger. He would be bigger than LeBron James. I guarantee you he would be bigger than LeBron James if he came in and won a championship for the Cleveland Browns. There would be a statue of Aaron Rodgers downtown before there would be a statue of LeBron James. You could book that.
Listen, Aaron Rodgers will play in Green Bay after this season is over. Mark it down.
I don't know, man.
Not going anywhere.
I don't know.
If they re-sign Davante Adams, he isn't going anywhere.
And there's another story that goes along with that. He would be the first player to win a Super Bowl and go somewhere else to try to win another one. If let's just say he came here and won, right? Like, it would be that. He would be the first to ever do it. There's a lot. If he cares about legacy as much as we think he is and his ego, you can't tell me he wouldn't love that. That wouldn't stroke the hell out of his ego.
I was just about to say, they haven't given Davante Adams a contract extension yet.
Exactly.
They haven't, and
personally, they're going to franchise him though.
I think Davante Adams plays a bigger part, maybe not necessarily in Rodgers' decision, but I personally, I think if Davante Adams isn't playing with Aaron Rodgers next year in Green Bay, then the only other place that I think he even thinks about is the Chargers. Not the Chargers, the Raiders, because he went to college with Derek Carr and is like his best friend. So that's the only.
Oh, you're talking about Adams. Okay, you're talking about Adams.
Adams. That's what I'm saying.
Oh my
but
God!
I think that plays a bigger factor in Rodgers' decision than you think, because I think the Packers would obviously be crazy to lose the both of them, but Rodgers' ego is going to get in the way of so many things because he is the ego of all egos. So I think if he just decides he's done, or if he decides he wants to go to wherever he wants to go, like, I hope not Pittsburgh for y'all's sake. But
oh my God, if he goes to Pittsburgh, bro, I swear to God, man, I may not watch football next year. Like, I don't know, man. If he goes, it's a guaranteed Super Bowl, bro. Like, I would be the first to say it's a guaranteed Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think Rodgers is going to end up staying, and Davante ends up staying, because I just think Green Bay would be crazy to try and not figure out that situation.
I mean, but it's if it was any other like if it was any other guy, like, you're talking about Aaron Rodgers here, so it's like you don't really know, man, what this guy is gonna do, because
you have no idea. He could change his mind tomorrow.
He could even say, you know what, bump this. I'm gonna go read Jeopardy, or I'm gonna go host Jeopardy. Like, I want to,
Aaron Rodgers type of guy that could win a Super Bowl and then hang it up right after and be like, yeah, I'm gonna go host Jeopardy. 100%. He's that guy.
Yeah.
So he's that guy. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what he's thinking.
I don't know, man. This is. I'm definitely ready to see, like, what's gonna happen in this offseason. I just, quite frankly, man, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen, man. And something tells me, I just hope that the Browns don't do what they've done time and time and time and time again, and that's feed into this media, feed into the fans, and they listen and they just do something that they want the fans to do. I want Barry, like I still got faith in Barry. I think Barry's gonna do whatever he can to make this team better. But like Bad said, this team is a ticking time bomb. Like literally, one wrong thing could blow all of this up. You already see the body language from Jarvis. Like you can just tell. You can tell with Myles Garrett. You can just, like Joel, when Joel talks, like it's weird hearing him come out and say, yeah, we got a job to do. It's week 17 where there's a lot to play for, this and this and that. And then you got your quarterback coming out saying, yeah, I'm going to talk to my agent and my family and we're going to go from there. It's like you already see where stuff could go wrong and how people would start turning on people. And it's only a matter of time before one bad thing blows all of this up.
I think your earlier rant about Baker in regards to, like, you put a lot of the. I'm gonna say you kind of went on a Baker tirade before, and I just don't think you gave enough. Like, I think that your coach needs to come back next year and really needs to reevaluate himself and his staff and make better decisions for your players. You guys have one of the best running offensive lines, or I should say run blocking offensive lines in the league.
I think we're top
and
3.
You guys don't run the ball enough come the second half of this season for it to be acceptable. Like, I think Stefanski needs to be taking more flack than he is. That's just where I'm at.
And
like,
see, that brings me to the
like you can win with Baker.
You can win
Baker
with Stefanski.
won last year. You can win with him, but you just need to set him up for success by running the ball and getting him his play action, quick hit passes. You can be successful and win with Baker.
See, here's my thing though. What
That's
I'm afraid
the frustrating part about Baker.
Go ahead, Daryl.
No, that's the frustrating thing about Baker, man. He has to have everything perfect. He's not a quarterback that, can just adjust to whatever's going on. Like, he has to have everything in order. Everything has to be right for him to succeed, and that's the frustrating part. And I think that's where you sever the tie. That's what separates you from being a tier 1 and 2 quarterback and a tier 3 and 4 quarterback. Can you adjust on the fly? Can you make something out of nothing? This is the only reason why I have high regard for Derek Carr. Derek Carr took something out of nothing. Like, look at his team, look at his organization. The whole thing is crumbling, right? And yet and still they're playing a game this Sunday to be in the playoffs. Like, and regardless of win or lose, they might still be in the playoffs based on another game. So, like, when you look at it, he's still a leader and still able to take something that's crumbling and build something great. And that's the only reason why I have a high regard for a guy like that. Like, if you can take a Raiders organization that is terrible as it was today, from where it started, and do what what you're seeking out to do, which is a playoff chance, you got to respect that. Imagine what he could do with a team. Our defense is going to be elite. Our offensive line is solid, as we just said. So why not? Like,
see, here's my thing with it's like I'm scared that Kevin Stefanski, like Aaron said, Stefanski just can't make the in-game adjustments. That's not on Baker. Like, Baker's not the one where it's like, okay, situational football's here. For instance, I'm gonna call a timeout when I don't need to call a timeout. Like, that's not on Baker. Like, and when you look at the numbers, like, because I was trying to think of a TikTok and I was looking at the rushing numbers, and I'm like, man, well, Nick Chubb's still getting, okay, he's getting 17 carries, 18 carries. Oh, here's another 16. It's not the most what we would like, but it's like, if you were to look at the numbers, you'd be like, man, well, they are running the ball. He's getting yardage. It's not, but it's not the number. It's the situation. He runs the ball at the dumbest times. Like, it's the play calling. So, like, that's why I don't know what side of the fence I was on, and I'm still, hovering over which way, because it's like, I understand the problems with Baker, but I also understand the problems with Stefanski, and somewhere in the middle, they either have to sit in the room and figure it out, or one of them's got to go.
Right.
See, let's see. I mean, because they're both new to each other. Go ahead, Aaron. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. You're good. No, I was just gonna say. I mean, to your point before, I think there's just certain quarterbacks that elevate a roster, and can do more with less around them. And I think Baker is the guy that does kind of need, like, he's an emotional leader. Like, you can see when he's on the sideline and he's going crazy, like, he's that type of guy. But if the situation isn't right and you have your backup running back who's a key part of your offense go down and things like that happening, your offensive line starts to get hurt. All of a sudden, you're seeing Baker getting hurt, Baker not playing well. So it just leads you to question, like, does everything have to be just right in order for Baker to succeed here? And then, like, is that to a point? Here's what I'll say. Was Stefanski's idea of making him throw that much to exploit that?
That's
to
what.
show
That's
your
it.
organization, hey, this is your limit with Baker. That's it. This is what you get. If you keep on doing this, this is your result. I
That
need
is
more.
the key
I need
right
better.
there. That's the point. That's the major question, because that's what when we talked about this a couple of days ago, Aaron, when I said it's like, you know how the smart guys always find a way to be the smartest guys in the room. They want to make their points a certain way. They'll be passive aggressive with it or some way. What if this was Stefanski's way of saying, okay, Baker, go ahead. I'm going to throw this ball. We're going to spread it. We're going to do whatever you look. So maybe he was catering to him, but he was catering to him too much. Maybe Baker just doesn't have that, okay, I'm going to design this. We're going to, like, maybe Kevin tested him so much that it just embarrassed him, and it embarrassed himself all in the end. But him being the smart guy is playing chess while we're playing checkers, and he sacrificed his bishop so he could move into place and checkmate. You get what I'm saying?
Let me ask you a question, because this is coming from somebody who's a little bit, and this is really a question for both of you, because I know both of you have probably watched I know Zay has probably watched every Brown snap this season. Pre-play offense line of scrimmage. Is Baker changing the play?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is Baker
audibling?
No.
Some place he is. Yeah, he is.
How often?
It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. You can tell some of the plays he's definitely switching, but when he switches it, from what I've noticed, every time he switches it, he's canceling the pass and he's running it, and it gets no yards.
Right. So here's the issue, right? Is that if you have a quarterback his fourth year, is this Baker's third year or fourth year? Fourth year?
Yeah.
If this is Baker's fourth year in the league and his canceling plays at the line is mostly changing to run plays because he sees something in the protection or he sees something in the defense that he doesn't feel comfortable with the pass and can't change to a different pass, that's a problem. That's a real problem.
Yeah.
Because your quarterback needs to have the ability to change the play and say, hey, whatever, I see this Mike linebacker. This linebacker's probably coming at me. Let me get a quick hit over the middle. But no, instead I'm going to run the ball with Chubb directly into him and get no yards. That's a problem.
Wait, and that kind of highlights what our issue is. Like, that's a great point. It kind of, when we're trying to figure out, is it Kevin? Is it Baker? Which one is it? That kind of highlights it right there. Like, you got a quarterback who can't in-game adjust, and you got a coach who won't in-game adjust.
Yeah.
Like,
that's a big problem.
So maybe if that's the real issue, maybe this relationship can be rekindled, right? Or no? Yes. No, if you got a quarterback who can't make the reads, I mean, that's another question that somebody called in and asked. It's like, can Baker make the reads?
Right.
Because I don't know if necessarily he can make the reads. Like, when there's time and time again where you just be like, how do you not see the guy running in front of you wide open, but you see the guy directly behind him who is covered? Like, and it's so often that you can't even just be like, yeah, I can count on one hand. Like, nah, you're going to need a couple hands, because there's plenty of times where you can go back and be like, oh my God, he literally threw the ball over the guy that's wide open. So, like, maybe he can't read defenses, or maybe he can't see over the line, and that's a problem.
Right, 100%. That's kind of where I was going with the point was, I think so many times we're so focused on the physical. So, like, Baker's a shorter guy, and maybe he can't see over the line, or maybe he doesn't have the huge, the Mahomes arm, so to speak. But there's the mental part of the game, and it's like, does Baker really get that? Does Baker know where to exploit the coverage? Does Baker know where to change the play to make the best possible change? Because, like to your point, if he's audibling out into run plays, and not changing passes and not shifting protection, and then you have your coach on the sideline who's just throwing in the base play and not making adjustments, it's a recipe for disaster.
Man, the more and more we talk about this, the more and more it's just like, man, why couldn't like it hurt? It honestly pains me, bro. Like when I watch these videos of Baker and especially all the good videos of Baker, it's just like, man, why couldn't we just get this to work, man? Like, why can't it work with him? Why did out of the 5 quarterbacks that came out, we get the one that just is right in between? Why couldn't, like, if we were gonna get a quarterback that was garbage, why can't we just get Sam Darnold or Josh Rosen and let it be that? Like, why do we have to have the guy that's like, man, maybe he could be. I see potential. I know where he could go, but he's just not gonna get there, or he might not get there. Why do we have to have that guy? Honestly, I would have been better off getting the bust.
Somebody in your chat just said Baker is 6'1", and I just want to let that person know that if Baker's 6'1", that I'm a power forward in the NBA.
Yeah, he's like 6
Because
foot.
Baker Mayfield is not 6'1". Baker Mayfield is 6'1" in cleats and extendables in his shoes. Baker Mayfield is 5'10" on a good day.
On a good day.
Baker
you
Mayfield
ever
is
seen him
5'10".
If you ever seen him stand next to Kyler Murray, it tells you everything you need to know.
Right.
Like, how come Kyler Murray can see? How come Kyler Murray can see over the line, but Baker can't?
He can't.
Because
Kyler
gets
out the pocket. He's fast
Kyler
enough.
moves. Kyler moves out of the pocket 100%. Kyler's mobility is way, obviously he's just more of an athlete than Baker. It's not a knock on Baker. Kyler's like a track athlete from in college, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
But it doesn't, the height is not really, because like Drew Brees is successful. He's the same size as Baker. You know what I mean? Like Drew Brees was a successful quarterback and he's the same size. The point is Drew Brees was smart and he knew what to do pre-play and he knew how to make adjustments. And Baker needs to make that turn or he's not going to be successful.
The more and more we dissect it, bro, honestly, it's like, I love Baker. I've been supporting Baker. I still support Baker no matter what. Like, obviously, if I have my opinions for him to be gone, I don't, honestly, I'm a Cleveland Browns guy first. And I think what's best for the Cleveland Browns, man, I honestly think the move is to move away from him. Like, I don't want to go into another year with question marks. Like, I can't, it was already hard enough this year. And I can, like, imagine he comes out week 1 and just looks the same or worse. And it's just like, bro, they're not going to bench him. They're not going to do it. They're going to ride it. They're going to try to cater, quote unquote, to him. And it's going to be a long, long season. And then we're going to be talking about the draft halfway through because we're not going to be in the playoff contention because we know what Baker Mayfield is. And it's like, I'd much rather go with at this point, I think I've talked myself into it. Like, a slightly better upgrade is worth it now. And I wasn't in that camp where it's like, if it's just slightly better, I'd much rather ride with Baker. But I just think that the problems and the drama and just the things that come with it, the questions that we have with Baker, I just think it's all too much for what's at stake. And I don't know if I want to go through another season with that.
But we're here.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we are here.
I mean, I think you have to look at the roster in total and say, if you guys are Super Bowl contenders next year and upgrading from Baker Mayfield is the thing that's holding you back, then that's the move that your GM has to make. But, you know, if not, and he sees that maybe that's not in reach, then, you know, the alternative, drafting another quarterback and kind of starting over and rebuilding the team again. But chances are, I'm going to tell you this right now, if you guys are not playoff contenders / Super Bowl contenders next year and you guys are healthy, I mean, Miles
we're
is
doomed.
gone.
Yeah.
I mean,
everyone's gone.
You're starting over. You're starting over.
Oh, for sure.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, do we even want to just like gamble on that, man? Like, I don't want to gamble on it. There's too much at stake. Too much.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there anything else you want to talk about the Baker thing? Because I think we pretty much touched on
on
everything. Let's look at some of these comments right now. We got both Cuzzos in the chat. My boy Tyler Hans. When more year after when more year after how many he's wasting my team. Wait, what? I just had a stroke, Tyler. Come on now. Go all in like the Rams. Windows are short in the NFL. I'm exactly like go all in, 100%. Give him one more year. Jason says, don't give up on Baker family. Baker was standing on the set. They're riding Baker for how tall he is. Someone said Kyler Murray's 5'6" but fast. Like chill. That's my brother. So picking up Kirk Cousins isn't a gamble or Carr. Not as big of a gamble as see, we know who Kirk Cousins is. We know who Derek Carr is. We know Baker Mayfield, but there's also still the possibilities of he could be this or he could be that. There is no Kirk Cousins could be this or could be that or Derek Carr could be this. We know 100% certainty who those quarterbacks are, what they have to offer, the leadership that they bring, or whatever the qualities that they bring. With Baker Mayfield, there's still too many questions. That's my opinion. So it's picking up Kirk isn't a gamble in Carr? No, it's not as big of a gamble as it is versus Baker, in my opinion.
That's facts.
I think I mean I don't want to dwell on it, but I think Kirk is more of a risk to the Browns than Carr would be. That's just my opinion. I mean,
yeah, I agree with that.
I think either of them, only because Kirk. I told you this on the last podcast. I've never seen Kirk win without a true like stud receiver. And again, we can go back to DPJ, but you guys don't have Stephon Diggs or Justin Jefferson. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's no offense. I know DPJ is nice, but like those are arguably top 3 receivers in the NFL.
What if you got Calvin Ridley?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you could pair Kirk Cousins with a Calvin Ridley, now you're talking about something. You know what I mean? Like that's a whole different ballgame. But I mean, you see Carr. If somebody could tell me who Derek Carr's number 1 receiver is that isn't Darren Waller, and he's still making that team work. Now you're showing me something. You know what I mean?
I'm all in on Derek Carr. I would take Derek Carr. Like he's my number 1 for the realistic. He's my number 4 for all, because number 1 obviously Rodgers, number 2 Watson, number 3 Wilson. You can interchange Watson, Wilson, but then you get the Carr right after that. So I mean, like out of the realistic possibilities, Derek Carr is number 1 on my list. I want to make that clear 100%. Even though I argue Matt Ryan, I argue Kurt, I argue all these guys. No, don't get it twisted. I want Derek Carr number 1 if we can get him.
Man, listen, Derek Carr is going to throw for over 5,000 yards this year. He's going to throw for over 24 touchdowns this year. Yes, he's a turnover machine at times, but I mean, his ups are higher than his lows, right? So if you're going to swap out Baker for anybody, it better be a Derek Carr or higher. If not, Baker, let's run it back.
Yep.
So,
I think that's the
all
answer.
right, before we end this, it's quick rapid fire. I need just a yes or no answer, or I need one or the other answer.
Okay.
Baker or Winston?
Baker.
Man, I like Jameis Winston. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Winston. I'm gonna say Winston.
Baker or Matt Ryan?
Baker. Minshew. Baker. Draft a quarterback. Baker, because I don't know where we're positioned yet.
Baker. Kirk Cousins.
I gotta go Baker. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Kirk scares me.
Kirk Cousins
with no receivers. I gotta go Baker.
It's a tough sell, but Kirk.
Am I missing someone? Baker or Marcus Mariota? That name's been thrown out there too.
Man.
Let's say the new quarterback comes, or the new coach decides to keep Derek Carr. Baker or Mariota?
Baker.
I'm gonna say Mariota.
Oh, you haven't seen
versus
Mariota play in 3 years.
yeah, but when he does get in, when he has gotten in this season, when they use him in those special packages, he's been effective. He still has the mobility, and him sitting down for that period of time kind of humbled him. And I think he would come in and put in that work, and give us that fighting chance. I mean,
I'm,
he
I
can
mean,
see over the line.
So
I mean, I hear you, and I know Zay said rapid fire, so I'll make my point quick.
Yeah.
So if you just said Mariota was used for special packages on the Raiders, so basically what you're saying is he's like Taysom Hill, and if you're gonna tell me that he's
Oh
similar to
shoot.
Taysom Hill,
Facts.
then how much does Sean Payton miss Jameis Winston since Taysom Hill's been starting?
I did forget
Right.
one.
That's
I
all
did
I'm gonna
forget
say.
one
That's all I'm
quarterback
gonna say.
because there is another rumble. There is rumors, like I don't know how much traction it is, but there is another name being thrown out there. And matter of fact, I'm gonna read off this statistic real quick. Hold on, let me find it real quick because they did this. What if I told you? Hold on. What if I told you this quarterback? Hold on, it's loading up
Man,
right
For the
now.
record, I'll take Baker over Mariota. Thanks, Aaron.
All right, this quarterback.
I mean, Mariota's not bad. I just haven't seen it in a couple of years. Like
No.
maybe if I saw it, maybe.
No, the Taysom Hill analogy really just did it for me. No, forget it.
I just think Mariota turned the ball over a lot in Tennessee. Like that's just where I remember. He was good, but he turned the ball over.
Okay.
He was good though.
Hold on, I'm gonna read these stats.
He can
up
see
to
over
you,
the line.
and I'm
I
gonna
don't know if he.
and we're gonna do something real quick because they brought this. They did this on a show. All right, in 2018,
For Carmelo in the chat, I wasn't comparing Mariota necessarily to Hill. I was saying that's how he was used this year on the Raiders in those special packages and stuff like that. The way the Saints use Taysom Hill, kind of to an extent, special
That's
running
exactly
packages.
All right, I'm gonna read off a pair of stats. I want you to tell me which quarterback would you rather have. Hold on, I'm loading it up right now. I have it almost all ready. All right. In this season, we're gonna go like 2018, 2019, those seasons right here. These are like kind of like their best seasons, I guess you could say. All right, this quarterback had in 2018. Actually, we'll go 19. This quarterback had 3,000 yards, 20 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. And what was their record this year? And their record was 10-6. This quarterback in 2018 had 3,200 yards, 24 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and they went to the playoffs and lost. This quarterback threw for 3,800 yards, 22 touchdowns. I'm sorry, 27 touchdowns and 14 interceptions. And did not make the playoffs. Out of those 3 quarterbacks, which quarterback are you taking? Which quarterback had the better season, I should say? One quarterback went to the playoffs and missed out, and the other 2 didn't make the playoffs. Oh, damn, I was muted. That's a rip.
Yes, you were.
Yeah, who were you saying? We couldn't hear you.
You didn't have the stream. God dang it.
No, man, I don't want to have the stream playing in my headset.
So look, here we go. In 2018 and 2019, this quarterback had 3,800 yards, 22 touchdowns. I'm sorry, for this quarterback, 2018, he had 3,700 yards, 27 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. Their team missed the playoff. This quarterback had in 2019, 3,000 yards, 20 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Team missed the playoffs. This quarterback,
I know who that is.
This quarterback had 3,200 yards, 24 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Took their team to the playoffs and missed and lost. I think their record was 11-5 at the time. Out of those 3 quarterbacks, which quarterback are you taking? Which quarterback is the best, or which quarterback, if you had to guess, who would they be? because the one
So
guy that went to
stat
the
wise,
playoffs, the one guy that went to the playoffs is the guy that people are saying they would have won over Baker, and one
bro,
of
I
those
already
is
know who
Baker.
that is, and that's the hometown kid. And the reason why I know that is because I heard that stat earlier today,
Mm-hmm.
and I couldn't believe they sold me on Mitchell the way they did earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Trubisky?
Trubisky.
Yes, bro.
People are
No
talking about
shot.
Mitchell Trubisky.
Yes.
Mitchell Trubisky, when he took the Chicago to the had his best season, 27
Double doink.
touchdowns and double doinked, exactly.
Mm.
So would you rather? So that leads me back to the quick rapid fire: Baker, Trubisky.
Yo, Mitch would be a perfect fit for the system. Mitch would be a perfect fit for Kevin. Mitch would be a perfect fit hometown, back home. I don't know if he's that much better than Baker though. So am I going to spend? That's tough.
So is that
tough.
the real? So is that a more realistic question?
All right, here's what I would say. Not to
Why are we
dwell on
doing
it,
this?
but
Oh my god.
the head coach on the Bears, what's his name? The guy I hate.
Matt
I hate
Nagy,
this guy.
aka
Matt
Kevin
Nagy.
Stefanski 2.0.
So I will just say this: Matt Nagy has proven now with two different young quarterbacks that obviously he's got some issues of his own, right? So what I would say is, Mitch Trubisky just had a year under Brian Dabble and behind Josh Allen. So if you were going to give that guy another chance, like that's the guy you give another chance to. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Oh my
sure.
god! No,
he
we're
finally
not.
He
got
looked
to
good in the preseason.
He got to go sit behind a real quarterback and like learn, and you know what I mean. And he had some games where he didn't look that bad. So I mean, if you're going to take a shot, I mean, it's not the worst shot to take. You know what I mean?
Do not sway me in the Mitchell Trubisky feet corner, please. I don't want.
No, listen.
No, I can do it.
Listen.
I'm just saying.
And then,
and the chat is split as well. The chat is split. A lot of people are saying Mitch is trash, but I'm seeing Mitch. I'm seeing Baker. I'm seeing Mitch. I'm seeing Baker. Like it's kind of split.
At the end of the day, you have to be realistic. Mitchell hasn't proven himself much, right?
Right.
So Baker knows the system. Whether he's good in it or not, he knows it. We don't have time to wait for Mitchell to try to learn the system. We don't have that kind of time. So we got to stick with Baker on that one.
Right, I would agree. I would still say Baker because he just hasn't proven that he could. You know, if you're not upgrading to a proven commodity, then you're not upgrading. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Mitch is a shot in the dark that might work out well. You know.
It's not me that brought up the Mitch Trubisky question, but this was something that was talked about on the radio today. They brought it up, and sometimes the guys that you never really expect are the ones that are really in the running, and it's like. How I'm anxious to know, like, and it's good to see that I think there's a fan base that's split on it. Like, some people would be okay with Mitch Trubisky. I don't know if I would be. I don't know.
Listen, I already looked up what all the free agent quarterbacks coming up this year are going to be, and if I start rattling off names, I will guarantee you that the two of you will say Baker every single time. You want me to do that?
Yeah, let's do that before
I'll give
we
you
end this.
all the free agents. All right, ready? So we already said Jameis, so I'm not going to do him. Ryan Fitzpatrick. Or Baker Mayfield.
Baker.
Exactly. Andy Dalton or Baker Mayfield.
Baker.
Jesus. Baker.
Nick Foles or Baker Mayfield.
Baker.
Tyrod Taylor
Baker.
or Baker Mayfield.
Baker.
Teddy Bridgewater or Baker Mayfield.
Baker.
That's closer than I thought.
That's a closer one. See, the only reason why I hesitate on that one is because
Teddy doesn't turn it over.
He don't turn it, bro. He don't turn it over. They never give him credit, and he does nothing but go out there and win and produce. Like, I probably would lean Baker, honestly, but Bridgewater it's a debatable.
And then the last one on the list was Cam, but I mean Cam or Baker at this point. Come on.
Yeah, I'm cool with Cam. But that Teddy's that's an interesting one. That actually is an interesting one. You could probably get him on cheap.
Teddy's not bad.
You could get him on cheap.
Mm-hmm.
He's a veteran.
See, so I would take Teddy as a backup and in case of injury. So like we missed that Teddy window. Like when you take Teddy when you think you have your guy. You got Teddy on the bench. Baker goes down, shoulder injury. Boom, Teddy comes in, wins 7 games. You know,
bro, Teddy had Denver in playoff contention. What are we talking about?
He did. That's exactly what I'm saying. But he was in the position to do it. We can't sit here and say that
We're a plug-in quarterback.
in the off season, huh?
I mean, I don't understand what do you mean? Like Teddy was low key.
So
Like, I mean, is Denver's offense better than ours?
I see
their receivers surely are.
I see somebody in the chat just said if the 49ers move on from Jimmy G. I have my own opinion on that. I'll let y'all say that if you want.
No,
I don't.
please, Jesus,
See,
can we do away with that
see,
theory?
that's just my personal opinion. Like my heart, like me just not liking Jimmy goes no. But it's like when you logically think about Jimmy G, man, that boy don't do nothing but win. Like he literally does nothing but win. He's like Alex Smith.
I know one thing Jimmy G does
when he's not injured,
he gets hurt.
He gets injured.
He gets hurt way more than he wins.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He gets hurt more than he wins, bro.
Exactly.
He's injured. He's injured right now. I think
he's injured right now.
He's injured right now.
He also only loses like 5 games a year, bro. Like that's
but his coach is Kyle
and he's
Shanahan.
Not injured.
So I mean,
Kyle Shanahan was our coach at one point, bro.
Yeah, you guys.
First of
out.
all, we have Shanahan 2.0 right now. We definitely have Shanahan 2.0 right now.
Yeah, I'm not a Jimmy guy. I'm not a Jimmy guy at all.
Oh, by the way, my point going back to Teddy, if I don't want to dwell on that too much either, but if you guys had Baker and Teddy on the bench, your fans would be clamoring for Teddy by week 4.
But I'm telling you, they would be clamoring for him after the first interception, bro.
It's a nightmare scenario. I'll be honest with you.
That's why I'm saying you cannot bring in a quarterback to compete with Baker. That's exactly what I'm saying. Because if you do that, I'm telling you, week 1, they were already booing him now. If he throws one interception, one overthrown ball, one ball in the dirt, you bet your bottom dollar they're going to be booing. And the next one that goes in the dirt or throws an interception, Teddy. Like it's a foregone conclusion. You can't do it. You either ride with Baker and get a clear-cut backup like Case Keenum, Nick Mullins, somebody that's not going to, threaten his job, or you got to get rid of Baker. That's what it's boiling down to. You can't bring in a Teddy Bridgewater because our fans wouldn't allow it.
I'm laughing because somebody in your chat said, "How do you guys feel about trading Hooper for something and starting Njoku?" Let me tell you this right now,
and nobody
Carmelo. If you guys lose out on Njoku, my team has money and I want him. That's all I'm gonna say.
I don't.
You better not let Njoku walk.
I don't think so. I don't think Stefanski's gonna let him walk. I don't think he's gonna let him walk. I really don't. Like he loves his tight ends. I mean, he is about his raw talent.
We shot ourselves in the foot because we could have got him for super cheap.
Mm-hmm.
We did that. That tug of war with him. Now he's gonna come in like, yeah. So like I was saying, load me up, and we're gonna do just that.
Oh man, well, I mean, boy, did we get into some good stuff today? Hey, chat, did you guys mess with the podcast today? Did you like this tandem, this 3-piece, this triangular offense? Because I think we obviously we only talked about the Browns. We got a Jets fan in here, so we'll obviously harp into some of his stuff that he wants to talk to. We were gonna get into some AB stuff, but we've been rolling on this podcast for a long time, so we'll get into the AB catastrophe, and all of that stuff in a later podcast. If there's any other topics you guys want to talk about as far as the Browns or any of your teams, make sure you drop those things in the comments after the video, and make sure you guys like the video as well. If you like the video, like the video. There's 24 people in here. Let me see 24 likes. Come on now, guys. But make sure you guys drop it in the comments because we gonna be whooping. I'm thinking this is gonna start being more than just a 1 week type of thing. This is gonna start being like a maybe every other day type of thing. If you guys are down for it, I'm just gonna throw that out there because this seems to be like a good little thing.
Hey man, I'm okay with it.
I'm good. I'm here.
And we're going to figure out how to get these guys on video, too. That's one thing we're going to work on is getting a video so we can have all 3 of our faces up there at the same time. But, yeah, Daryl, closing comments. Ron, I appreciate both of you guys. Is there any final things you want to say before we end this?
Man, I just appreciate you guys, man. Good conversation, good vibes. Hope everyone's being safe. Follow me if you will, dct.jr. We're here, man. We cooking with the crop.
Yes, sir. Hey, Aaron.
Yes, yeah, man. I mean, obviously, thank you for having me on. I know I said this last time. I hope to be, a part of this moving forward. Shout out to chat.
Shout out to
I see
chat.
y'all.
We see y'all, baby. We see y'all.
Um, and I unfortunately I'm not going to plug myself, but the way these podcasts are going, I'm thinking about starting up a little something myself. So we'll see. Maybe I'll get that cooking too.
Yeah, make sure you're
So
gonna
we'll
get a
see.
platform where we're gonna start promoting this stuff. We're gonna start getting it. But I appreciate y'all hopping on. It's always fun. We'll get into some more other topics, some universal topics. Playoffs are coming, so we're after this week. We're probably gonna gear towards the playoffs, obviously, even though the Browns aren't in it. Let me just give a shout out to the people in chat: Austin, Jason, Carmelo, another Jason. Who we got? Brendan, Tyler Holmes, Matt, Bart, Allen. I salute Bad, all of those. I appreciate all y'all for being up in here in the chat. And make sure you guys like the video, drop the comments, Firestream. I appreciate y'all, and we will catch y'all on the next episode.